Hi there, Simon from simonwoods.com. Boldly tasting wine where I've not been today. I've been to Alenquer. I've got two wines from a region in Portugal called Alenquer, which is just to the north and west of the capital, Lisbon. But I've never been to Georgia. Tasted a few Georgian wines, but I've got two Portuguese, two Georgian. What do they have in common? Well, they're all red. Anyway, let's dig in. Both of these two Portuguese ones from the region of Alenquer, made by, I think they're made by a guy called Vasco Margalés. There is a well-known Vasco Margalés who's, sounds like Sean Connery here, who's been one of the chief winemakers and certainly into the marketing and promotion for the Sograp group. The people who do Matius Rosé, but Vasco is more on the serious wine side. I think Quinta de Pinto is owned by or run by his son, who's also called Vasco. Not tried these wines before, so no idea what to expect, but his dad's wines are pretty good. So this is the one, this is called Vinhas do Lasso, and it says mostly Touriga Nacional, yeah, based on Touriga Nacional. Stick my nose in there, and it smells quite old-fashioned. There's a slightly rusty edge, and there's also this slightly horsey edge of Brettanomyces. Not mad keen on that smell. It's got a bit of nice warm plummy and strawberry fruit, but feels a bit old-fashioned. Well, feels like it's rather dried out. Slightly charmless. I don't know whether he's working there now and has taken over and has acquired these wines, but there's no fruit there. Really, what you're left with is a dried out finish. Not keen there, and the finish is doggy. Rather stale and not all that pleasant. Let's see if the next one's any better. So this is their year older, made from a grape called Tinta Muda. Now, opinions differ. Tinta Muda might be the same as the Graciano grape, which grows in, which they plant to add a bit of fragrance and spice and a bit of tannin to Rioja. And it's a similar smell. It's got, it's weird. This one feels like there's been an old wine. And it's got that slightly dusty plum, savoury tomato edge that I was getting in the first one. But then it feels like someone's dunked a bit of it in, put a bit of it in some new barrels towards the end to try and make it more modern. And I don't think they've quite succeeded. I might be wrong. Let's taste it. It's on the rather dry, charmless and dusty side. One of those wines that some people would say, oh, but it's a food wine. Yes, it would be better with some food, and yes, it has got a nice bit of acidity that would cut through some quite fatty meat, but no, I don't think they've quite got that right. And it's got this slightly stale edge to it. Ah, well, right. Let's see if we'd fare better in Georgia. I've done some Georgian wines from, I don't know, yeah, I think both of these wineries before in a video, but I don't think I've done these particular cuvées. This is the Orovela Cuvée Chandrabi, 2006, they're both 2006, Saperavi, which is the grape on which a lot of the best Georgian wines are based, Saperavi and Cabernet Sauvignon. Quite a rather broad-shouldered bottle, but certainly not as heavy as the bottle that follows it. I'm not sure of the price of this one, but the next one's quite a heavyweight price as well as a heavyweight bottle. And it's, yes, I mean, there's after these first two, suddenly there's plummy, fresh fruit here. Raspberries, and there's this cooked strawberries. Yeah, plums, cooked strawberries, fresh raspberries. And there's also bits of spice in there as well, and ever so slightly rustic, but nice rustic. Yeah, I thought that was going to be fuller-bodied, but it's actually quite refreshing, lively style. Doesn't feel like someone's extracted it too much. Yeah, it's this plums, maybe someone's just over-ripened them slightly, the grapes, and you're left with this ever so slight dry edge of tannin there. But mainly it's this refreshing bit of blackcurrant in there. Yeah, this bit of spice. Okay, not great, but okay. Last one, from the Talavi winery, I think, yes, Talavi wine cellar, and it's their Satrapezo, that's the name of the cuvée, the wine, and it's a Saperavi grape. So it's the Talavi Satrapezo Saperavi, 2006. And the first thing I notice here, apart from the weight of the bottle, which is one of those wrist tremblers, is oak. There's a lot of new vanilla-ish oak here, and it's one of those things I think for a wine that's sort of 3.5, nearly 4 years old, it's allowed to be a little bit oaky. But sometimes I do wish that some people who are trying to impress people and presenting their wines for the first time would actually just let the grapes speak rather than say we've got a new barrel and we're going to use it. So yes, it's this smoky sheen of oak, and really hard to get too much behind it. There is ripe red fruit. It's more on the red fruit than the black fruit edges. Plums, berries. I think that's going to come through. I think that's going to survive that oaking. The oak isn't really drying the wine out too much. Sometimes you have wines that have been in a barrel and it really has dried out any charm in the fruit. But I am getting some sweet plummy flesh there. I really just wish that they'd done it in half new oak, or no new oak, or bigger barrels, just to lessen the impact of that. Yes, it probably will age, but at the moment I find it ever so slightly stewed, and I'm going to have another taste. Well, I'll be revisiting that later on today. And at the moment I can't quite work out whether the oak is in balance with the wine. It does feel like on the over-the-top side. But it's amazing what 3 or 4 hours once a wine's been opened, and I'm going to pour a glass out and watch what happens and see how it develops. But at the moment I just wish that they'd calm down the oak a little bit. But certainly they're a step up from the Portuguese, but a step up in price. That's £22 wine there. Yes, and you should, no problem in having that much oak in a wine at that price, providing that the rest of the wine is up to it. And I have my reservations there. I may be proved wrong, but read the blurb on the website to see how I got on with it. See you soon.